and collected in that soldier's shoes?
Oh, I
You
wouldn't.
know?
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. I wouldn't know what to do in the situation like that. But I know there's a breaking point for me,
Yeah,
and it's something like that, especially with kids, because kids you're going to protect them no matter what.
yeah,
You want to protect the just like how they say children, elderly and children first in any situation that's any kind of any kind of like if you're flying or something like that. If something were to happen and people need to get out of line or something like that, they say children and elderly first because
and
those are
women.
people that you want to protect, and women, yeah,
Yeah,
and you want to protect them first
right.
versus everybody else. So it's like for something like this, it's like there has to be a breaking point, and for this soldier, there is none.
That's a good point. He could have been like, "You know what? I don't trust you, but like the little girl can pass," or "Okay, we'll help her, but we don't
Right,
trust it." Like there's other options, but because he
right,
got that one order from his superior officer, it's like that's it.
yeah,
He had to do it,
yeah, that's it.
even though it was wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. It's like how often does this happen in real life? Like
Hmm.
we probably could be over analyzing this, but like if you apply that into real world situations,
Yeah,
like in the military, like I wonder just like how often that happens where
yeah,
soldiers are put in that type of situation where they're given
yep,
orders to do something and they
yep,
know it's wrong, but they have to carry it out because they have to be a good soldier. Like it's
exactly.
just interesting. Like I was just
Well,
thinking
it's
about that.
it's just like how much it actually it how much how much it puts on you because afterwards I wouldn't imagine you be able to come back from that. You wouldn't be able to just be like, "Oh, I did this and I can move on." Now maybe some people could, but I'd imagine pieces of that memory is going
Mm,
to stay there and it's going to resonate with you and it's going to change the way that you interact with other people later in your life whether you don't realize it or not because
mhm,
all actions have some sort of reaction.
mhm.
Everything, every cause and effect, everything has some sort of direction.
Right.
Whatever you're doing has a positive and a negative reaction to everything you do, even if you don't realize it.
Mhm.
Then something like this, who knows if he would have been able to leave them and let them pass,
Yeah.
or he could have he said, or he could have said, okay, I'll take your daughter, but you can't go through here. But if you go around this other area, you might be able to come in. You can reunite with them.
Mhm.
Like I'm still following my orders.
Right.
Whether my commanding officer realizes it or not, they don't know. But I think it's perfect that there's only one person here because if you had
Mm,
two soldiers, then that would have taken away the element of like what's happening
yeah.
because then then both of them would be in the wrong. This guy has a choice because he's talking to somebody that's not there.
Yes.
He's talking to an inanimate object that's talking to him, that's giving him orders, and he's
Mhm.
following it
Yeah.
through it when he didn't have to.
That's a good point. Maybe he wouldn't have been as hesitant if he had someone else with him,
Exactly.
like 2 or 3 more people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he would have more
They would have all
courage
been killed.
probably. "Okay, we gotta do it.
Yeah,
Let me mow them down right now." But here, since he's
right.
by
He would have.
himself,
Yeah.
I guess he thought about it for a quick second,
Hmm.
but then he
And
followed
then that
orders.
was it. Yeah.
Like, that's
And
very
then look what
interesting.
happened. And look what happens
Yeah.
when he does that. And that's when Joel knows. He knows it's happening. He's smart enough to know.
And then he got shot in the back, or he's holding his
I
side,
think
yeah.
I think he might have gotten shot there, but when he picks him up, picks Sarah up, I don't know if he actually did get shot. I think maybe he did, maybe in the shoulder or something like
He
that,
should have.
and
Like,
the bullet went through him and hit his daughter
mm, that would make more
because
sense. There's no way he didn't catch a bullet because, like,
yeah,
like, that soldier, I'm sure he knows how to shoot a target, and he wasn't too
yeah.
far away. L like, he definitely
Well,
got
look,
hit, but in the game, it doesn't verify if he had any, like, bullet wounds or not.
right, right.
Only his
Now
daughter
look at
got shot.
But watch what he does. As a parent, look exactly what
Yeah,
he
it's an
does, and I
instinct.
actually
Yeah.
and I didn't realize this at first,
Mm.
but look what he does. He turns his back towards them so they shoot him first versus his daughter.
Yep.
He's creating a shield
Yep.
of himself to protect his daughter, and he doesn't it wasn't enough, but he had a point to like, "You're not gonna get a good shot at me,
Mhm.
at my daughter. You're gonna have to get through me first."
Mhm.
And look what happens. Like he tries to do it, tries to get away.
That was a split-second
He,
decision.
yeah, he
That's
didn't have enough
amazing.
time,
Yeah.
but he tried to do it.
And he would have finished the job too if Tommy wasn't
Yeah,
there. Wow.
yep.
See, look, it doesn't look like he's shot or has a.
I don't think he is, man. I honestly don't think he is. Maybe he did.
This
Maybe
game
he did
sucks.
get shot.
This game sucks. He doesn't have a bullet hole in him.
I
It's not
think I
realistic.
think he. I'm sure he did get shot, but he's like because of what's happening, he's not even noticing it.
Yeah, maybe too much adrenaline is pumping in.
Yeah,
I know I'm
it
being
just
really
is.
petty. I'm being really petty with that, but
I don't know. I would have to assume that he did. I think in this situation, the way I see it is that he got shot and the bullet went through him and it hit his daughter too.
that would make sense. Yeah,
Because he shot a lot. I mean, the soldier shot quite a few
right.
rounds at them.
And he shot right at him too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he
I'd
definitely caught
imagine
a few
so.
bullets. In my mind, he caught a few bullets, but even though it's not
Yeah,
portrayed in the game.
yeah, yeah. We're just gonna see this one more time,
Oh
man.
my
I
gosh.
just, I mean, just like her pain when he picks her up,
Hmm.
and just how Tommy just knows.
Yeah.
It's like he's
The
gonna
look in
lose
his
her.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's it right here. Boom.
yeah. And it's just gone. Yeah, man.
That
I know.
yeah, that did it for me
Just
the first time.
that blank stare.
Hmm.
Like her life was there, and now it's just gone. And look at this right here. Watch. See how it pauses right here?
Hmm.
Look at right there, right in front in the foreground. Look exactly right in the front in the center of the actual game, his watch.
Oh, that's
How
interesting. Yeah.
dude, how appropriate is that they're putting the watch right in front of your face and you're not seeing it?
Yes.
But that watch is the only thing that it keeps that memory of his daughter. And even
Mm.
though it's broken, it doesn't matter. He's still wearing it. So even though he's moved on and it's been 20 years from this event to where we continue with the actual
He still
game,
has that watch on.
he still has that watch.
That's cool.
Imagine how long he's kept it, like how he's taking. Maybe he never even takes that watch off.
Hmm.
Like how much like history that watch has gone through since he got it.
Mm.
That's why it's broken because who knows what happened? Maybe someone tried to steal it from him and he went on a rampage and found the watch. Like little things like that. Like that watch means more to him
Hmm.
than his own life. Why he still has it.
Was it a 20-year time jump?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This after this event, it's 20 years later.
Dang, that's crazy.
That's I know. And he still has to watch. And remember that scene when Ellie makes a comment about that, where she's like, "Oh, your watch is broken," and then he like looks at it, and then he kind of just looks, and it's like a reminder. He knows it's broken,
Hmm.
but he's wearing it for another reason,
Yeah.
and especially like how time doesn't matter at that point. He's still holding on to that because it's like that one thing that he's holding on to that was happening before this event happened. Like he lived in the world where it was normal, a day-to-day thing where you go to work, you have fun, whatever.
Hmm.
Now this other world is survive. He's been in both of these worlds. And the one thing that keeps him connected is that watch. Everything else is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been interesting to see like what happened to him between
Yeah,
now and like
yeah,
20 years later, like the stuff that he's been
yeah,
through. And
yeah. And that's funny. It's funny too because why did they choose a watch? Obviously, I can see the symbolism of like why um, the watch makes a point of why it's necessary because time itself stops, and it's like his time and his pause of his life ends at that moment. But it would have been what if it maybe there was other things that they would have done if it wasn't a watch, maybe like a necklace or something. But I don't think that actually makes it. It doesn't lend itself to why it is that who Joel is who he is.
Mhm.
I think the watch really does like they made a choice to like say this is the gift that his daughter gives him, and that's the only thing he has left.
Yeah. No, I think it was a good decision to use the watch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but we're talking. See, that's what's amazing about this is we're talking about these little things, just like the stuff that he's wearing, and it's like we're not even talking about the actual game itself. We're not talking about the shooting
We didn't even get
mechanics.
to the
We're
gameplay
not.
yet, man. Maybe in our
We're not
next
even.
episode.
We're not even talking about that, man. That's what's so important about this is that it's. I love this because we're talking about other things that I never would have thought of. Like
Neil,
didn't think of that.
Neil, are you listening to this? We're not even talking. We didn't even get to the gameplay yet. We're just talking about Joel's watch. Can you believe that?
Exactly. And we're talking about that and talking about the ethical, moral dilemma that that one unnamed unknown soldier,
Yeah.
and we went on, like, a whole tangent about, like, what's happening and, like, how important that is. That's so cool,
I
man.
wonder if that was, his intention behind all this, or if some of this stuff is just coincidence, you know? I wonder how
Maybe,
much of it was planned, or if he
maybe.
wants people to think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can be
But,
reading
like,
into it too much, you know?
I think we are.
He's like,
I think we're just I think we're taking what they're giving us
yeah.
and we're expanding on
Yeah,
it.
Neil's like, "I just made a game for you guys to play, not to talk about
Yeah.
psychology and critical
Yeah.
thinking
And
and watches."
I wanted you to cry in the very beginning. That was my goal.
Mhm. Well, he did a good job with that, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just end it on this. Let's end it on this right here, right where he's just, and then that's the only time at right there is when you get the title screen, the title of this at the end of this.
Mm,
Most movies do that in the very beginning. They give
right.
you the title right there. But when movies or like games that are that they're centered around the story, they give you the name last. Like I've had some movies where the title doesn't even come up. Like there's a movie called oh, I'm blanking on the name right now, but basically the title comes out at the very end. So it's kind of interesting like when they do stuff like this. But man, I love this first go round with this first episode, man.
Mhm.
I honestly I'm having so much fun with this.
I
I
love that scene
I
so
love it.
much. Like you're right, I'm trying to think of any other game. The only other
Hmm.
game that made me feel, um, anything for the characters,
Hmm.
and this is gonna sound a little corny, but,
Okay.
Final Fantasy VIII, I
Okay.
really love that game. You know, they did a good
Okay.
job, with the characters, but, not to this level, though. This is, more basic, more grounded
Hmm.
story, and I like that. You know, the
Yeah.
relationship between a father and daughter, you know, they're
Absolutely.
placed in this catastrophic
Hmm.
situation, and then his daughter dies. That's like
Yeah.
hook and sink. They couldn't have
Exactly.
done a better job. I'm I
Exactly.
hope the next game, I hope they kinda do the same thing where, something traumatic happens in the beginning of it, you know, that
I'm
helps.
sure they.
It's gonna
I'm
be
sure
good.
they will.
It's gonna be good.
I'm sure they will, man. Maybe the first scene is that exact thing that they showed you in the very beginning, where Ellie loses her girlfriend.
Mm,
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I think it would be more world building. I think they'll have it where they're part of a community. They'll have like little things that you do. I think they're going to slowly show you because I would imagine that that camp gets overrun or something happens because not only that there's you have the infected that are a problem, but you also have people that are a problem too because what you also realize within the actual game itself in the Last of Us
mhm.
is you realize that people will do everything they can to survive. And
Yes.
when you take everything away from them, they're going to be basically savages. They're going to do everything they can to survive and like do anything. And not only that, but you have also these infected of other people that are just going to try to kill you at anytime they see you.
Mhm,
So it's like, who is the real threat here? Humans or these infected?
mhm.
They're both threats, but humans have more of an actual. They're more of the threat because they have the ability to think beyond attacking and you know closing the door and then they get stuck.
Yeah.
Humans are going to go through the window. They're going to be smart enough to know how to get around you
Mhm,
and try to take you down. They're also going to use weapons. So it's this whole thing that they've introduced is just such a cool, scary idea of that everyone turns on themselves,
mhm. It reminds me.
and that's the,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that this the title itself. I'm sure people have already said this many times, but The Last of Us is really the last of humanity, like the last of them holding on to this because it's a perfect name, man. It's a perfect name for that
Mhm.
for what's happening in this game.
Yeah, it is, man. It's a great title. You made me forget what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something amazing, and you made and you made me forget.
Well, that's okay. Well, you know what? What I didn't
Yeah.
forget, the movie that I was just thinking of. It's a movie called Michael Clayton with George Clooney.
It
Did you
sounds
ever see that?
familiar. What is that name? I don't remember the movie, but the name sounds familiar. What was it
Okay.
about?
Check out the trailer. I don't want to tell you too much about it because the movie is really good. but at the very end,